People, y'all, gonna tell you what it's all about. Dance up together now, gonna keep the groove steady. Gonna know the truth now. People, get
Prince, man. What's up, man? What's going on? It's Q.
Yo, what's up, Q, man?
Yo, how you doing, man? It's good to see you, man.
I'm alright, man. Yo, how's your crew?
Yo, they outside waiting. Yo, what's up with you? Yo, when you got parole, man?
Yo, man, I just got paroled the other day, man.
That shit is cool, man. I hope you're taking care of yourself. Word up.
Come on, man. This Blizz. Of course I'm taking care of myself,
That's
man.
cool, man. It's nice to see you, man.
Yeah, pardon me for a second. I'm about to rob this place.
Alright, everybody, put your hands in the air and face the fucking ball!
Oh, shit.
Don't look at me, goddammit! Hey, yo, Q, you want a piece of this?
Nah, man, I'm alright.
Alright, everybody, take your fucking clothes off! Hurry up, goddammit, cause you look good!
calls to communicate, strictly prohibited and a violation of DRC policy. Thank you for using GTL. Thank you for using GTL.
This is Dem Streetz Podcast, Voices of the Underworld, and I'm your host and executive producer, Brandon Greene. And today we have a Akron native who's an author, a music producer, manager, promoter, and the CEO of Blowboy Entertainment. And today we'd like to introduce to you Mr. Justin Guyton, a.k.a. Rubber City J.
Hello?
Okay, this is Mr. Guyton. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Man, I can't complain, man. Well, we got you. We finally got you on here, man. And in your introduction, told everybody, who you were, and what you were into as far as being an author, a music producer, manager, and a promoter, and the CEO of Blowboy Entertainment. So, for our listeners, man, where you from?
I'm from the east side of Akron, Ohio.
Okay, cool. So, you coming up, how was your childhood?
Overall, it was good. I was raised by a single parent, my mom. I was the only child until I was 11, 12. And, that was like when I started to transition into the streets, for real.
Okay. And when you started to transition, you say around 11, 12, what forced you there, from your surroundings?
It was more of seeing my mom struggle. Like, my mom used to be busting her butt trying to provide, but then, as, addition to the family, and she was pretty much doing that by herself as well, it was hard. So, it was certain things that I wanted that, my mom wasn't gonna go buy the Air Jordans and the starter jackets and all that type of stuff. So started doing, various hustles, doing what I needed to do to feel to have the things that I wanted. You feel me?
Okay. And that's a story of many, man. Just seeing your mom struggle, and then you just want to try to help out, or even get the things you feel you need or want, that you see the other kids with.
Yeah, absolutely. Growing up, you don't want to be the oddball that doesn't have this and that. In hindsight, it's kind of foolish, but when you live in the moment at that age, you don't think of it like that. You feel me?
Right, right. Well, at what age did you first get in trouble?
At 12, I got caught a CCW case at 12. I got caught with a gun.
Man, and so what was the result of that?
Being that I hadn't never been in trouble, they ended up putting me on probation. So I ended up getting probation. And while I was on probation, I ended up catching another case that I really didn't commit. And I ended up taking to a juvenile bench trial and ended up beating the case. But since I caught the case, they gave me 6 months additional probation on top of that.
So that was all at the age of 12.
Yeah, at the age of 12, yes.
Man, so looking back on that, if that was any sign of what was to come, it was gonna be serious, huh?
Yeah, because I ended up getting off of probation, and I ended up catching another case. I think I was around 14. Yeah, it was like my freshman year, the transition out of the 8th grade to my 9th grade year of high school. I ended up catching the case when I had got into a fight with a Kmart security guard, and he ended up pressing charges on me, and they was trying to send me to DYS. And during that process, basically the judge was like, either you can go to DYS or I can ban you from the state of Ohio and you can go live with your aunt in Pennsylvania. So I went and lived with my aunt, and I lived in Monroeville and Wilkesburg, Pennsylvania, my freshman year of high school. So I had to end up
what
moving the
was
city.
that experience like?
Man, it was a great experience because, like, my aunt, she used to own the Riley's hamburger franchise up there. So she was, doing her entrepreneurship thing. And prior to that, I grew up in the Woolworth, Arlington Homes on the east side of Akron. And prior to that, like, the only people that I seen that were entrepreneurs in my neighborhood was like the Arabs and various other store owners. But when I moved up there, it was a lot of people that looked like you and I, especially like in the boroughs of Pittsburgh that own convenience stores, car lots, restaurants. So that opened my eyes to the entrepreneurship. Like, we can have and own stuff ourselves. You feel me?
Yeah, that was major too, because that, like, you probably, like, I'm guessing when you got older, you kind of remembered that and went back to that time up in PA, right?
Yes, because, like, don't get me wrong, like, my grandfather, John Guyton, he was like one of the first, if not the only, if I can remember, entrepreneurs that he owned the Holland Oil on Diagonal, and it's the Autumn now, but it was Hawkins. And so I seen entrepreneurship coming up, but we were close, but he wasn't instilling that in me. He was doing his thing. He got a couple numbers. He'd been to prison a few times, but when I moved to Pittsburgh and was seeing that firsthand, and then like the people I was going to school with when I went to the school in the suburb, there's people that got elevators in their house. You're not seeing that in the Wilbur in the projects. So it opened my eyes. Like, dang, I'm doing something wrong. You feel me? I want to be like this. I want to be on this type of wave. So.
Right. Well, for our listeners, man, let's fast forward a little bit, and you caught a major case, and it has some major time with it. Can you give us that story?
Yeah, when I ended up coming back from Pittsburgh, I was in Akron about 18 months, and then when I was 17, I caught a robbery case and ended up doing 9 years. When I got out from 9 years, I was home about a year, had strip club, dance club, was doing the venue promotion, and some things transpired where financially, I got put in a situation that really wasn't my situation, but I made it my situation because it was family. And basically, I committed a series of robberies in between Akron and Canton, and I ended up getting sentenced to a combined sentence of 34 years. Um,
Whoa,
yeah, yeah.
that's a long time. So if you can kind of take us through it, man, what was that that experience like for you? Having that type of time.
It was unreal, to be honest. Like, cause like I didn't kill nobody, I ain't harm nobody. I was just chasing fast money, and to do 9 years and be out a year, then come back with 34 years, and you they telling you you ain't gonna get out till you like 63, 64 years old. Nobody wants to face that, but at the end of the day, I knew I only had one choice, was to fight. So I started, fighting my case. I was able to get it reduced to 25, and then I filed clemencies, I filed appeals, all types of stuff, and they all got shot down. But the thing is, like I didn't learn, when you move right, you stand on business, man, you're a good person, the universe will reward you for that. So like, a couple years ago with 2021, they came out with a ruling called the Fraley ruling, and they affected my case to the point where it reduced my case by 8 years. And when it reduced my case to that 25 down to 17 plus my jail time credit, I was able to be in a position to pay a lawyer, and I received 2 judicial releases from Supermax, which is unheard of. But like I said, when you move in a certain type of way and you righteous, man, the Most High and the universe is gonna reward you. And now that I'm out here, I'm standing on business and doing what I need to do, because I received that blessing.
For sure. So from 34 to 25, and then the Fraley law came out, and that helped you too. So for our listeners, what exactly is the Fraley rule or law, whatever it is?
Yeah, the Fraley ruling, it applies for the state of Ohio. Basically, if the judge, like I told you earlier, I had aggravated robberies in Canton and in Akron. So I had 18 years in Akron, and I had 25 years in Canton, ran concurrent with 9 years worth of gun specs. So that made my original sentence 34 years. Then when they reduced it, it was 25 combined. But they saying, if you got gun specs, you serve your gun specs first, so your concurrent sentence doesn't start till after them gun specs. Well, the Fraley ruling says if your journal entry says concurrent, your sentences have to run concurrent despite the gun specs. So basically, all my time got ran into them gun specs, and that's what reduced my time by 8 years.
Man, that was a blessing right there. I remember, for our listeners, me and this, brother here, Rubber City J, we met years ago, and on the inside. And I remember when I first met you, you told me you had all that time, but never was it one day where you was like you weren't trying to fight to get out.
Yeah, absolutely.
You never gave up, and so, like you say, you always done right. And one thing I know, when you do right, right will follow you.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
So, here on our platform, we highlight family, struggle, adversity, and many other things. But like for you, man, what was some of the hardest things about family, whether you lost somebody or whatever, throughout that course of time you were, incarcerated?
Yeah, I think the hardest thing was losing my mother. In 2013, my mom, she ended up having a stroke, and like 5-6 days later, she ended up transitioning. And the fact that my mom passed, knowing that I was doing 25 years at that time, that's something that bothered me. And on top of that, knowing that I wasn't able to pay my proper respect to the person that brought me into this world. So like that was like one of the hardest things and periods of my life during my bit.
Man, that's definitely something that I can't even speak to. But we definitely, man, we sorry for your loss, man, and that you had to
Yeah,
go through that, and not be able to pay your respects like you wanted to.
yeah, I appreciate that.
So, I always ask a lot of our guests, well, most of them, the young dudes, what do you tell them?
Man, I've been home, and even when I was in, that's part of the reason why the judges had let me up because
You have 1 minute remaining.
Well,
I
we
was
can
pick
we
up
can
on that
come back
question.
to that. Yeah,
Okay.
we have come right back to that. But this is the Streets Podcast, Voices of the Underworld, and we'll be back momentarily with Rubber City J.
Thank you for using GTL. Thank you for using GTL.
Podcast, Voices of the Underworld, and we're back with Rubber City J. And before we had the break, I asked you, what do you tell the young dudes?
Okay. What I'll be telling them, like I said, when I was inside, I used to be mentoring some of the guys that came in. And then since I've been home, I'll be encountering different guys that like didn't heard my story or didn't heard some of the things I done on both sides of the fence. And the main thing I stress is staying in your own lane. Thing is, like a lot of people who get in trouble, not all of them, but a lot, or get themselves in a situation that they can't stand up under, is that's because they be veering off in other people's lanes instead of staying in their own lane. And for example, like if you just because you got guys that's pressuring you to jump off the porch and get to hustling, that might not be your lane. Your lane might be to work a 9 to 5. Um, your lane might be entrepreneurship. Everybody don't need to be in the streets, And I don't understand it's appealing to some people, but they jump in and might not know everything that comes with that. So I'll just be telling these guys, like, man, if you got a gift, pursue your gift. Don't try to compete or let others run your race for you. You got to run your race at your pace. You feel me?
Okay, and so from a lengthy prison sentence to the terrible loss that you lost your mom to coming home now. But before all that, when did music become a part in your life?
Well, I have been rapping since I was young, and when I was at 12, 13 years old, I'm rapping, going to various studios and stuff like that. But I never had an interest in being anything other than a rapper. And when I ended up catching my first number, it was a producer named it was family Greg and Adrian Davis, and they had told me like when you go down there, and it was another guy named Demetrius Shaw I was working with too from the east side of Akron. They all told me like, man, when you go down, learn everything that you can learn about music. So when I went down, I learned music theory, and I got all types of business books, Don Passman's, everything you need to know about the music book, music business, and various other books. And it was a guy from Dayton called Pep, and he showed me how to program a Boss drum machine. And I started from there. I went to I went to Richland from Trumbull. Thomas Payne showed me how to program the LE. That's around like 2003. And by 2005, my name was ringing on the producer side.
Yeah, and that's how I initially heard about you too. Like they said, man, this dude can make, nice beats, and we was in trouble. And I remember going to the studio and you made some beats for the guys. I was like, man, that's crazy. I didn't think a dude that was, on the inside could do that. It was just as good as, if not better than a lot of guys that was out. And so I know you done made a lot of different connections. And but what would you tell like some of the younger dudes that want to be in the rap game, like as rappers or even a producer?
Man, I would tell them make sure your business affairs, the aspects of it, is handled before you just do music. Because, like, I'm getting ready to start managing some artists, some new artists. And one of the things that even the artists I've been networking and talking with, they don't know how to do a BMI or ASCAP to get their publishing. They don't know how to file their copyrights. They don't even know how to set up an LLC, the business bank account. Learn the game, learn your business, because if you treat it as a revenue maker and a business, you can make money from it. But if you don't stand on business, you don't be somebody's lick. Somebody don't take advantage of you or try to exploit your talent in wrong ways. You need to learn the business aspect of it and love that just as much as you love the music aspect, the fun part of it, the rapping or singing, producing, whatever you do.
Okay, that was some good advice for them because a lot of them just think because I got a gun or I'm shooting, I can say a rap, but like you kind of gave it to them. It's more, it's look at the business, learn the game, know what you're doing, so you can know where you're going. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely. Because like since I've been home, actually today marks my 7th month home, and it's a whole lot of people. They've been, what's up? I need some beats. I want to do this. Come on, and like, no, I'm making sure all my T's is crossed, I's is outed, take care of all the business aspects of things before I jump out there and do the production. Because I'm treating this as, passive income. This is my business, so everything got to be right. And like I was saying earlier, I got to run my race at the pace that I need to run it at, not for everybody else.
Okay, and we still on the music, but we kind of got ahead. And that's congrats to 7 months being home. And to really get in that, how has your transition been from day one, until to now?
Man, it's been great. Like I was blessed to be received by some great brothers and sisters when I popped out here, and everything that I could imagine that I would want or need within reason I have. So it's just at the same time, a lot of people respect the fact that when I came home, I ain't had my hand out. I didn't sit around twiddle my thumbs. Like every day I wake up until this day, and it's not going to change. I wake up with an agenda. And on my agenda is different things that I had sat in that cell, looked at the ceiling and pondered about and wished I had the opportunity to be able to pursue. So every day, whether it be 3 or 4, 6 things I try to accomplish, knock that off my list, push me forward to my overall agenda, what I'm trying to accomplish in life.
Okay, and that's what's up, man. Now tell us about the name, the Rubber City J, as well as tell us about everything. Rubber City J, the name. You as an author, a producer, and then you're the promoter and the CEO of Blowboy Entertainment. So give our listeners, take us on a journey with all that is for you.
Yeah, well, like you said, my name is Justin Guyton. A lot of people call me JG, Rubber City J. I'm from Akron, and I put on for my city, my region. So that's how the moniker Rubber City J came about. As a producer, we all gotta have our names, our tags, and so I put on, Rubber City J. As far as Blowboy Entertainment, that's my company. We do book publishing, music production, artist management. I throw venues, and I'm getting ready to start a studio. I'm actually sitting in my studio right now. We're doing a renovation. I was able to partner with some great people. My brother Bone, the Wise One, Flames, Oh God, my bro Bizzle, and we collectively doing Core Studio, a podcast TV show that's like basically gonna be based around like mic drops with different artists. We basically trying to provide a platform and an establishment where artists, business people can come and get all the services they need to build their brand and monetize their brand. So that's something that I'm doing under my imprint. And then I have published a book while I was in called Felon, the New Slur Word. And it's about the injustices of the system. And through doing that, I've been publishing other authors. I actually had a lady out here reach out to me last week, and she's about to publish a book under my imprint 2025. And I have a couple other things that are rolling out, getting ready to start doing merch. And I have a couple different things going on with films. So it's just, a full service entertainment company that has been doing well, So I'm keep on pushing the envelope and opening up doors for this, not just for the city, not for the state, but for this region.
Okay, that's respect. And this studio, man, you just spoke a lot to that, but this is a serious studio, man. This just ain't music and recording. This sound like a little bit of everything.
Yeah, basically, if an artist doesn't know how to set up an LLC or even a small business owner, they can come up here and sit down with one of us. We can help them do the paperwork. Like I said, the publishing, if they talented enough to seek management, or even if they still need work, I can advise them. We got a clothing store next door. It's called ED Clothing. So as far as like styling, photography, shows, media promotion, that they can come and get styled next door. We're gonna be doing the music recording over here, mixing and mastering, because that's a thing that's the issue in this region. We don't have a lot of great mixing and mastering engineers, and if your product doesn't sound right, you ain't gonna get radio play, even if it's internet radio play. People is not gonna gravitate to your music because it doesn't sound like it's supposed to sound. So we just picked up one of the rawest mix and master engineers. I ain't gonna drop his name yet, but they stay tuned. Everybody don't see what's going on, and we don't have some of the most premier pieces that no other studio in Northern Ohio has. So we're gonna be the destination that a lot of people want to come and record at due to the stuff that we have in our facilities.
Okay, man, that sounds major right there. So, like, as far as the music business, the game producing, all that, like, who is somebody that you would really like to work with?
On a producer side,
whatever, any level.
Man, I would say I feel it'd be dope to do like a joint album with like a Metro Boomin or a Southside or even a Zaytoven. It's so crazy. Some people from this camp reached out to me since I've been home. But, the legendary producers, Mike Dean is another one. People sleep on, but, I feel the way I'm moving, all them doors open up and, I'll be able to check them off my list as well within time.
For sure. Now, I reading the magazine, seeing on TV, all the different cities, everybody done had their wave, they movement. You can say the Detroit boys, they doing it now. What is it gonna take for us, for Akron, to have that wave where they like, man, the Akron, they jumping this? What would it take for that?
It's not even, like I said, I'm representing DJ I put on for the city of Akron, but it's deeper than just Akron. And what's so crazy, like I done had this conversation with a young, talented artist named Jug Knight. I done had this conversation with the videographer from the city, Rob Bruce. I done had this conversation with Chip the Ripper from Cleveland. And what it's going to take is people quit hating within the cities. And it ain't just Akron. I'm talking about artists from Canton, Cleveland, whatever city, Columbus. They all hate, oh, yeah, he from this side of town. Or you rock with so-and-so, so-and-so. Or, yeah, she used to date my girlfriend, so I ain't gonna support her music. It's corny. It'd be hate both ways. The one females artists hate on other female artists or non-artists. It's vice versa. But once we start doing shows together, when we start doing songs together and supporting one another as artists, no matter where they from in Ohio, that's when we don't catch the wave. Because if you look at
1 minute remaining.
Okay.
If
Man.
you look at Texas, California, Atlanta, Memphis, Detroit, all them guys and females, they rock with one another. So that's what it's gonna take.
Okay. Well, we have a few more questions, so if you can stay on the line, we'll be back momentarily again. This is Dem Streetz Podcast, Voices of the Underworld. We'll be back with Rubber City J.
Thank you for using GTL. GTL.
Voices of the Underworld, and we're back with Rubber City J. Before we left, you was just basically saying, in order for that movement to happen, basically the key word was the hate got to stop.
Yeah, the hate
And
has to stop. And gotta just show support, because like there's no excuse. Guys and girls, they go out to the club, other cities, all that stuff, right? But if the artist throwing they, a lot of these artists, not our shows be packed, but I see a lot of these shows, people won't pull up, or artists that post like, man, I'm shooting a video on this day, and people won't even pop out. Like every artist, man, that tap in with me since I've been home, like, hey, man, I'm shooting a video. Can you pop out, man? I don't care if it's another city or anything. I'm pulling up. How can I say that as a producer, I want other people to purchase my services, let me get pictures on their album, but I can't support them outside of what I'm doing or getting from them. Like that don't make sense.
sure, I could appreciate that too. And for our listeners, so as far as the studio that you spoke on, y'all really, if I heard you correct, y'all really not turning your door to nobody. If you got an idea, you need help with business, music, pull up.
Yeah, you can be able to pull up. We trying to have everything done. We've been working around the clock. I'm trying to open up by the first of this year. And basically, like I said, whatever you're trying to do, whether it's merch, you need artwork for flyers, shows, album covers. If you need advice on how to navigate certain things, you can pull up, and we can provide them services for you and more.
Okay, cool. And for our listeners, can you tell us the addresses or the websites so they can know how to contact y'all?
Well, I'm in the process of building a website. Right now, the address is as far as the clothing side of our what we got going on is ED Clothing. That's 83 South Arlington Street, Akron, Ohio, 44306. And then right next door is going to be the studio, and that's 85 South Arlington, Akron, Ohio. So if you you can contact me on Facebook. It's Justin Guyton, Guyton, and you can also contact me on Instagram at Rubber City _ and the letter J, and tap in with me. We can figure the time to meet and get busy if that's what you're trying to do. But one thing I will say is, time is valuable. So if you come, contact me, have all your stuff in a row, and be serious. Because at the end of the day, you got to be serious if it's something that you want to pursue.
Okay. Well, as we get ready to close, man, like I say, man, it's definitely been a pleasure to have you on. I know this will be something good for our listeners, aspiring rappers, guys that's locked up. Any in closing, anything you want to say, any shout outs you want to give, any more advice, give it to us.
Yeah, I will just like to shout out, everybody, man, on both sides of the fence that's out here, and in there, still working on themselves, and just know that it's not over. Every day you wake up, you have an opportunity to continue to push your agenda and work towards your dreams and goals. As far as advice, man, procrastination is not going to get you anywhere. So you got to get up and get to it. You feel me? Whatever you want to do in life, get up and get to it, man. You might not be able to achieve things in a time frame that you would like to achieve them, but as long as you keep moving forward, it eventually happens. You know, and I want to thank you and the Streetz Podcast for having me on, man, and give me this opportunity to be heard.
For sure, man. Well, listen, man, it's just stay focused, man. Like I say, we tell you again, we sorry for the loss of your mom. We salute how you got out, hit the ground running, and you're standing on business, as you said, and as we stamp that word right there, standing on business. So just stay focused, and this is another edition for Dem Streetz Podcast, Voices of the Underworld. This was Rubber City J. All right, hold it down, fam.
Good looking. You do the same.
Yep. 100.
Thank you for using GTL.